Have you ever wondered how the rich don't pay taxes? Well, let's hear from a millionaire that probably pays less taxes than you.
It's called the cash flow quadrant. So E stands for employees. So you go to school, they tell you go to school, get a job. But if you're really smart like Tom, you become, S stands for super smart. You become accountants, attorneys, and doctors. So Tom, who pays the most taxes of these characters here?
Oh, definitely the S, definitely the super smart. The more degrees you have, the more tax you pay.
Thank God most of your friends, Tom, are like me, C students. we didn't qualify for this one here.
That's for sure.
You educate all of us that as a general rule, and this is worldwide too, this is not just US.
Right.
And so Tom and I have traveled the world, and employees pay about 40% in taxes.
That's right.
Anything to say about that? I mean, that's worldwide.
That's a pretty standard rate worldwide. It's going to be anywhere from 30 to 50%, but on average 40%. If you make any kind of decent wage, you're going to be up in that 40% range.
Correct. And if you're a doctor, lawyer, self-employed, or like somebody says, I'm going to quit my job and start my own business, you become a small business owner or a specialist. I'm going to be a web designer. How much do these guys pay in taxes here?
Well, they can get all the way up to 60% in tax because they're paying not just the employee share, they're paying the employer's share as well. So they pay two taxes, employer and employee.
So that's what happens when people quit their job and start their own business without talking to Tom first. Okay, so B stands for big business, which is according to the tax code, 500 employees. But B also stands for brand. Right. And most people don't build a brand here. So big business, like the big corporations, how much do they pay?
Typically around 20%.
20%. And again, what Tom instructs people and advises people, it's because we're doing what the government wants done. So why would the government give a tax break to big business?
Well, because that's where the jobs are, right? So one of the government's primary goals is to create jobs and employment. And so the big business doesn't pay the taxes. In the B quadrant, it's the E people who work for the big business who pay the taxes.
Right. The government needs people to hire these people here.
Correct.
And so if you hire a lot of people, they'll give you a tax break for that. And then I stands for investor, but it's an inside investor. In other words, over here, lots of people invest, but they invest in a 401k or an IRA. They invest in public market, like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, which I don't have any of those things. I don't want them. But over here as an insider or investor, how much do they pay?
Well, they're the ones who get down to zero and pay zero tax.
So if you enjoy being over here, you can tune out right now. But if you want to find out how to get over here, this is your program, especially here, Which Dad's World, and they'll explain to you how you can get over to this side here, because you can do it legally. And this is a funny thing that Tom and I talk about. Who cheats the most on taxes, Tom?
Oh, absolutely the S.
These guys
S quadrant.
Mm-hmm. They're the biggest crooks. Every time I go into a small, a sole proprietor or something like this, and they said, if you pay cash, we'll give you a break. When they say, well, you pay cash, what does that mean, Tom?
They're saying they're not going to report that to the government.
How else do these guys cheat?
Well, they take deductions for all their personal expenses. They don't record their information properly on their book. Some of them have two sets of books, one for the tax man and one for themselves. So it's just that's what they do because they don't know any better.
And that's what Al Capone did, didn't he?
That's how he got caught.
So the biggest crooks are on this side here. No, this side. And the legal guys are on this side here.